About a week ago, I received a question from Andrea at the Word Engineer. Shout out to Andrea for this question. She wanted to know about the benefits of DIM, 3,3-diindoyl methane. So in today's video, we're going to talk about DIM. We're going to talk about what DIM is. I'm going to give you a bit of a scientific breakdown of this product. I'm going to talk about should you take DIM, some warnings and precautions. I'm also going to talk about the different DIMs and the different formulations that are out on the market right now because they are not all created equal. And I want to give you some information to let you know what to look out for if you are considering trying this product. But before we dive in, my name is Khadija. I'm a licensed pharmacist in the United States. On my channel, I talk about all things health and wellness related to women, especially women in the perimenopausal stage of their life. If there's something that is of interest to you or somebody you might know, please keep watching and tell others. All right, let's dive in. Okay, 3,3-diindoyl methane, or DIM, is a supplement. It's a potential chemopreventative agent. So it's been looked at in the areas of thyroid cancer, breast cancer, and prostate cancer. For the majority of this talk, I'm going to only talk about women's health because that's what my channel is about. So I'm not going to dive too much into prostate. I'm going to focus on breast health majority, and also thyroid a little bit. There are some other benefits of DIM, and you may have been aware of this or you may have read about it, including hormonal acne, weight loss, and potential menopausal symptoms. I'm going to get into that because I think there's a little bit more nuance and involved in taking this product, especially if you're a woman over 40 who has entered perimenopausal stage of life. Okay. So again, 3,3-diindoyl methane, or DIM, it's a bioactive 2 times, metabolite of indoyl 3-carbinol, I3C, derived from cruciferous vegetables including broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts. These are the ones that I've listed for you here, and these are the ones that you will have noticed maybe healthcare providers or healthcare enthusiasts may have been encouraging you to eat more in order to get these particular results that DIM does provide. Granted, it's a lot of vegetables that you're going to eat, and that's why it's compressed and concentrated into a supplement formula. But let's keep going and talk about some of the benefits or how it's been used or seen in research. To just give you a high-level overview, and I'm not going to dive too much into the particular pathways here. I just want to let you know that because of its anti-estrogenic effects, that's why it's been seen a lot in use of hormonal acne and weight loss, for example. So it's pretty much a substrate for an enzyme called CYP. So the CYP enzymes need this particular molecule, DIM, in order to break down different forms of estrogen. And so what you have here is you have a blocking of several different pathways, which I'm not going to get into high level detail. I want to say that, Andrea, you had me in the weeds of this research. I was reading a lot of literature trying to understand how it really benefits and what the mechanism of action is. But not everybody's going to be interested in that. But at a high level, I just want to tell you that this particular product, when it is in reaction with the different CYP enzymes, pretty much blocks estrogen signaling pathways. It blocks free radicals and it blocks transcription. So overall, what you do want to just understand is that taking DIM and its effects on the body blocks certain pathways, and it blocks certain estrogen pathways. And I want to dive into that a little bit more here. Before I jump in, let me just tell you that estrogen has 3 forms. I hope that you do know this, and if you don't, that's okay. But as a woman, it's good to know that the 3 different estrogens that we produce includes estrone, E1, is the primary form that we make after menopause. E2, or estradiol, is the primary form we make during our reproductive years. It's the most potent form of estrogen. And then the third is estriol, or E3, and it's the primary form during pregnancy. So back to the science. Premenopausal women produce hundreds of micrograms of estrogen, or E2, daily. This is metabolized to 2-OHE2, or 2-hydroxyestrogen, 2-hydroxyestrogen, which is an antagonist. It's also metabolized to 16 alpha hydroxyestrogen or estrone, and that is an agonist. And it's also broken down to 4 hydroxyestrogen, which is an agonist. All you need to know for now is that we're going to focus on 2 hydroxyestrogens, 2 OHE2, an antagonist, as well as 4 hydroxyestrogens, 4 OHE2, an agonist. I'll put timestamps if you want to skip over this. The chemistry and everything, trust me, I had to go back to my biochem days to get this down. And that's okay. Sometimes it's necessary for us to go back to really understand these things. Okay, so why is this important? And I'll tell you why it's important, just to know that with the 2 hydroxyestrogen metabolites, that can bind to estrogen receptor alpha, ER alpha, estrogen receptor alpha, but they do not induce transcriptional activity. And that's what I showed you on that little graph where you had the breakdown of blocking free radical pathways and transcriptional activities and estrogen pathways, certain estrogen pathways. So in normal mammary tissues, the 2 hydroxyestrogens derived metabolites are the main conversion products for E2, while a significant increase of 4 hydroxyestrogen derived metabolites is observed in cancerous mammary tissue. So I want you to remember that. So remember I told you the 4-OHE2 was the agonist, and then the 2-OHE2 was the antagonist. So that's what I want you to understand. DIM is playing a role in those 2 different estrogens. So it's going to try and let me go back so that you can understand that. Oops, don't want to go back too far. So this was the graph I showed you. And then here, 2 hydroxyestrogens antagonist, 4 hydroxyestrogens agonist. We want to see a decrease in this one, because this is what we see. And I say this one, I'm talking about the 4-OHE2, because that's what you see in cancerous mammary tissues. And potentially you want to see an increase in 2-OHE2, which is the antagonist. That's seen in the normal tissue. Hopefully you get it. I hope that you're with me. If you're not, it's okay. You can watch this again. But I'll get into some more simple stuff soon. Okay, at the end of the day, 2-OHE2, metabolites are associated with lower body fat and increased lean body. It's also associated with the balance of the good and the bad estrogens, and that's what I was talking about earlier. The 2-OHE2 versus the 4-OHE2, the cancerous versus the normal. So that's involved here. Also with hormones, hormonal acne and testosterone, excuse me. And then also collagen support in knee joints. There's some research studies that have been published that I'll link all of the PubMed articles below that have looked at the benefits of DIM within patients who have osteoarthritis or inflammation of the knee joints. Okay. But I do want to warn you that not all DIMs are created equal. And this is where I think it's more important for you to pay attention to if you're considering buying the product. The science is good for you to know if you're interested in, but now I need you to really pay attention to what I'm about to say. So number 1, DIM has limited bioavailability because of its extreme insolubility in water and oil. There are 7 different DIMs that are available, several different DIM formulas that are available, but the 2 primary ones are the Bioresponse DIM, BR-DIM, and the Pure Crystalline DIM. So BR-DIM is suggested to have a 50% higher bioavailability over the Pure Crystalline DIM. The half-life of DIM ranges from 2.6 to 4.5 hours. The recommendation for a tolerable single dose of DIM from BR-DIM has been established as 300 milligrams. And then there's Pure Crystalline DIM. It's poorly soluble, poorly absorbed upon ingestion. And so this is something that you're going to have to just understand when you're sourcing these products. And an easy way to understand what you're buying is to just look at the supplemental facts and the label. So right here you see that this is an example. I did not show you the product because I'm not here to bash products or to promote products. So look at the back of the label and you can see here that the diindorylmethane as crystalline or crystalline dim is what they're providing for you here. You already know that this is poorly insoluble, poorly digested. Think about it before you purchase. And I'll show you another example. Here, diindorylmethane, dim. So you don't see too much about this. It's kind of a blank slate. It just tells you it's dim, but it doesn't tell you the type of dim. So you want to be really careful before you purchase this. And I tried to look at the other ingredients that are down below. I'm not seeing much of anything that would help me to understand what's in this product or what type of dim it is, I should say. So let's go on to another example. Example 3. Now, this is another supplement which it does tell you it's an indolplex diindorylmethane BR-DIM complex. So here they're very transparent in what type of DIM this is. Okay. And then I have one more example for you here. It tells you again, bioresponse DIM, and it tells you what the complex of starch, diindolylmethane, tocopherol, succinate. It tells you more about what's inside the product, and it tells you how much is inside the product, which is also important to know. But before you buy DIM, before you decide that yes, you want to go out and get the BR DIM, you know it's more soluble, you think it's gonna be good for you, I want you to seek out personalized medical advice from your personal healthcare provider. Yes, on this channel, I am a pharmacist. I talk about things related to health and wellness and medications, herbal medications, but I don't know everyone's, medical history. And it's going to be really important for you to get personalized advice to make sure you're taking this appropriately. And then I also want you to consider if you're going to take it, because I know not all of us go to the doctor or the nurse if we want to try a supplement. I understand that. But try your local pharmacist, walk into the pharmacy and ask them some questions, some information, give them your medication profile and see if they can offer you some advice or recommendations. And when you get the medication, if that's your choice, then I want you to dose according to the directions as stated on the label. You could hear that 300 milligrams is the best, 200, 100, but also consider what the labeling says. Always consider what the labeling says. And so there are also some, let me make sure I'm not skipping anything. I felt like I had another weight. Okay, yeah, so here we go. Also, some precautions and some warnings for you. Pregnancy and breastfeeding mothers, there's not enough data and evidence to support the safety. Some sites, some evidence-based sites, medical supported sites seem to think it's okay, but again, not enough data and evidence to go out and say it's 100% safe. Also with children, still don't have enough data and evidence to say whether it's safe or not completely. And then hormone sensitive conditions such as breast cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, endometriosis, and uterine fibroids. So yes, this particular supplement, DIM, can reduce the bad estrogen, the 4-OHE2, but you want to be very cautious because even if it's reducing the 4-OHE2, it might be increasing or maintaining the 2-OHE2. Anytime you have estrogen imbalances related to cancer, you want to always proceed on the side of caution. And that means working with your healthcare team, your oncology team, and asking them for their advice about this product before you decide to take it. And again, data is still coming out. There have been some placebo-controlled trials that have looked at this particular product in post-menopausal women and women with thyroid cancer. But again, more and more data. We need to see more and more research. We need to see more and more data. There's a lot of hypotheses. There's been studies that have been done in mice and labs, but we still need more data. And also, and let me just jump to the next slide because I think this is the slide that I really want to dive into as well. Because yes, I understand DIM is beneficial weight loss, hormonal acne, especially in premenopausal women. It might be good when you're producing enough estrogen. It's not really for the majority of women, they don't really have an issue because they might be estrogen dominant. I know a lot of providers don't like that word, but they might have more, they might be leaning on the side of higher estrogen. So taking something that might lower their estrogen or balance out their estrogen could be beneficial. But for perimenopausal women, it's going to be really important to be careful because for women over the age of 40, you should proceed with caution because your estrogen levels are naturally declining. They are decreasing. That is a fact. Estrogen receptors are all over our body. Estrogen is primarily made from our ovaries once the eggs are created and released from the follicle. But then as we get older, we see estrogen being made from our adrenals and fat tissue. That's why we have that abdominal fat. So know that estrogen is declining. So do you really want to take something that might block pathways that produce estrogen, good and bad, quote unquote estrogen? So one of the things you want to do is focus on strength training, focus on nutrition. If you are experiencing things like the weight gain and you're um, trying to lose weight. Now with hormonal acne, that's a different situation. You're going to want to talk to your dermatologist or maybe your endocrinologist to figure out what might be going on in terms of trying to, if you've been using so many products and nothing's working, that's going to be the route that you're going to want to take. If you've tried over-the-counter agents and you're getting that hormonal acne, if you've tried DIM and it's not working, then you're going to need to go to the next step and talk to a provider. Now, another thing I want to mention is to focus on your bone, heart, brain, and muscle health. I talk about this all the time, and I'm going to keep talking about it as more and more research comes out, as we find new ways to take care of ourselves and to be better with our health, our nutrition, and our wellness. So those are just some take-home points that I wanted to provide to you as a healthcare provider and as a perimenopausal woman myself. So let me know if this has been helpful for you. What else would you like to know that I did not mention, today in this video? I do thank you for watching. And I thank you again, Andrea, for the question. You had me in the weeds, girl, like I said earlier, to dig out the research. And I don't want to get too much into the science, but it's really good, like I said earlier, to understand. So yeah, leave me a comment and let me know if you have any questions, drug related, medication related, health related, perimenopausal, menopausal related. Let me know. I can create a video on this. I think I like this style a little better. I'm still trying to get through the kinks of scrolling back and forth between video like. I'll figure that out. Yeah, but thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.